What's the problem?
Click that.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay.
Project-based learning is a instructional approach teachers use to have more student-oriented assignments. It's more projects rather than just handing them a assignment. They're designed to answer questions and incorporate how to use it in like everyday world too. It's pretty much the definition of it actually.
The importance. This approach especially targets those students with kinesthetic tendencies, which means if you are a person that can't just look at the board and learn off of what's at the board, this actually involves like taking your hands, doing a project, and that way studies have proven that when you are actively involved in your project, then you're going to retain the information more. And that's exactly what that says for the physical interaction and with the content conveying the subject matter better. Application to 21st century learning. It practices skills such as collaboration, communication, critical thinking, encourages abstract thinking, and synthesis of already learned material. That basically means it's going to, in the real world, when you're an adult, you are going to have to collaborate in any sort of career that you're going to have, especially as teachers. You're always going to have meetings and have to work together, so project-based learning is going to help get students ready for that as they move on in their future. And critical thinking, we go to Marshall University, we know how important critical thinking is. So students will get a hand in the critical thinking process, which I sometimes hate to admit this, but my critical thinking classes have helped me a lot in college. And it just helps them to think outside the box. And rather than having a worksheet in front of them and following directions specifically as what it states, they have to think like more creatively and apply themselves to that.
Okay, some examples of this type of applicative work is doing posters, doing group projects. You can sometimes have students making songs or making a play that revolves around the content that you just teach them. For science classes, this is a lot of lab work. If you have people in multiple groups working on an experiment, they need to be able to go through the different steps to be able to accomplish what needs to be done in the lab. They have to work together, they have to make sure that they're getting the right products, and other different summative types of work. It's usually things that people will do at the end of a unit. It's better to do project-based learning at these times because they've already been exposed to the material and supposedly they've already learned it, so then they can apply everything that they've already learned into a project. Finally, the role of technology in project-based learning can be things like portfolios, like we made a wiki, that's considered a project-based learning assignment. You can do educational posters. You can have students make PowerPoints about the different content material. You can have them do group blogging assignments. They can have a particular task that each one, or a subject that each one has to continuously teach people about from day to day or week to week, and they have to update their blog. So it's something that can be ongoing, as well as something that can happen in a one-time setting.
And then that's what we use for information.